united and excited, episode 2, so to speak, okay? Today's topic is get that bag, right? We got financial aid in the building joining us. I'm Dominique Smith, your hostess for all things new student program. Some of you we met at Admitted Students Day. Many of you we chatted last week for our first episode with regard to pouring the tea on what life is like as a college student here at NJCU. And the journey continues with this lovely financial aid conversation that we're about to delve into, right? We want to know what to do with our money so that we can navigate accordingly and from a place of knowledge as we move into our first semester here at NJCU. I want to test the room in a sense to see who is wide awake. I'm going to do a gauntlet challenge really quick here. I want to see who's got their mind ready, sharp, and who's really been paying close attention over the last year or so as you've begun to set yourself up for financial success, right? Now, this is essentially a review, so you all should know the answer to these questions, but let's test this out here. So you can see a poll pop up. Got a couple quick questions for you. We're going to get our minds moving here today, okay? Here we go. Here we go. Everybody see the poll there? Everybody see it? Let me get it. Okay, good, good. Thank you. What is FAFSA an acronym for? What is FAFSA an acronym for? What is the answer? Free application for student access, fast acting financial student assistance, or free application for federal student aid? What does FAFSA stand for? Come on, guys. We can do this. All right. Next question. There we go. Okay, I see you. Why is the FAFSA important? Does it determine how high your grade point average will be? Does it determine your eligibility for federal grants, loans, and work study programs? Or does it determine your eligibility for graduation? Third question. All right, you guys are ahead of the game. How many times do you need to fill out the FAFSA during your collegiate journey? Once for your first year, twice, as in your first year and your final year, or for every year you plan to attend? And the fourth and final review question here, true or false, do you think your family's income is too high to qualify? If you think that's the case, should you not even bother filling out the FAFSA? I'm going to share these results. Let's see how we're doing. 13% of you said FAFSA stands for free application for student access. 4% of you said fast acting financial student assistance. 83% of you said free application for federal student aid. You're right. Free application for federal student aid, that is. Okay. Second question, why is the FAFSA important? 5% of you said it determines how high your grade point average will be. No, it doesn't, but you do when you're passing them quizzes and tests and studying. Okay. But does it determine your eligibility for federal grants, loans, and work study? Sure it does. And we'll be talking about that a lot today. All right. Now, number 3 there, that question about how many times you need to fill it out. Yes, 100% of you got it. Every year you intend to attend college, you will be filling that out. Absolutely. And for that true or false twister there, if you think your family's income is too high to qualify for need-based aid, FAFSA's not worth filling out, that is false. You should always fill out that FAFSA. We'll talk more about that in a minute. You never know what might change. There may be even something that's not necessarily driven by your income for aid, and you want to know if you're eligible for it. So I thank you guys for participating in our refresher there. So without further ado, let's get into the conversation. I know that you all also submitted your very own additional questions. I have some questions of my own as well on this end to ask this amazing individual here that is joining us, who I will yield the floor to at this moment to introduce herself, and then we'll get into those interview questions for you. Mabel, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mabel. I am a two-time graduate of NJCU. I did my bachelor's here in psychology and my master's in clinical mental health counseling. So I have been in your shoes, and I'm extremely excited for you guys to be joining our Gothic Knight family. I am also the financial aid office manager and scholarship coordinator. So we are here to assist you in anything that you may need or that you may need assistance with. So yeah, that's me, a little bit about me. I'm sure Dominique has some questions for me on what the financial aid process is. So we'll get started.
Thank you so much, Mabel. As we continue the conversation, if something resonates, as I mentioned, feel free to respond, react. If you have any additional questions, feel free to put them in a chat. And again, I have made a list of the questions that you asked when you registered to participate. We'll make sure that those are included as well. Mabel, our first question for you is really also an acknowledgement, right? Because we know that we've begun receiving all of our award packages. We've got them via email, via mail. There's a lot of details for us to digest. Can you help us as incoming Gothic Knights review a sample bill or package so that we can have a better understanding on what we're reading and what the action steps are necessary to take in order for us to remain in good standing?
Of course. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. This is what the award letter should look like, that you may have received in the mail and in your email. There's a lot of information on this award letter. Some pointers that I'm going to point out is really what you should be looking at or what you should be paying attention to. First and foremost, all the free money that you can get, scholarships and grants. That is the first thing that I always refer to when I sit down with our students. Just pay attention to how much of the tuition aid grant and the Pell Grant you receive. Tuition aid grant is the state's grant for New Jersey. So if you are an in-state resident of New Jersey, you will qualify for the tuition aid grant if you are a part of New Jersey resident. Then the federal Pell Grant is the federal Pell Grant or the federal grant that you can get from your FAFSA application or from the federal government. The maximum awards that you can get for both of these, for the tuition aid grant, it is $9,496, which is already there for this specific student under the total award. And then the Pell Grant is $7,395 under the total award. So right now, what are we looking at? The award description, which is telling you what the grant is and which one it is. And then we have it broken down into fall semester, spring semester, and the total award. So let's start with fall. For the fall semester, the student is getting 4,748 and 3,698. That's just only for the fall semester. If you look at the total award, that's for the academic year. This includes a summary from fall and spring. So if you're adding up the fall, 4,748, and then the spring's 4,748, you get the total, which is 9,496. As a student coming in my freshman year, I was totally confused by these numbers because I'm like, there's two of the same numbers, and then there's one number that's a lot bigger. Which one is it? Which one am I getting? The total award is for the academic year, and then the fall and spring. So for the example, the tuition aid grant that we're looking at right now, the 4,748, that's for each semester. So right under the bottom, you see the total scholarships and grants is 16,891. That is for the academic year. At this time, we have not confirmed our tuition and fees for the 25-26 academic year. That will be out very shortly. But right now, this student has a total of 16,891 for the academic year for their tuition and fees. In most cases, this does fully cover for the academic year. In the sense if the student is housing or if the student has additional fees, then the tuition may increase or their balance may increase. But as of right now, the student should be fully covered with that 16,891. Right under that, we have the loans and work study. So the loans a student that this student is eligible for, or that you see there, again, under the award description, it says a federal subsidized loan, and then it gives you the amount split between the fall and the spring semester, and then the academic year amount. So for this specific letter, the amount was 4,287. A subsidized loan, you do have to pay back. All loans, all federal direct loans, you have to pay back 6 months after you graduate or 6 months after you stop attending. The subsidized loan does not accrue interest while you are in school. the unsubsidized loan does incur interest while you are in school. So I usually look at it or simplify it in the sense of when you're doing a subscription to something. When you want to subscribe, which is the sub, you would kind of, students usually subscribe to the sub. You would do the subsidized loan, which does not incur interest while you're in school. And then when you unsubscribe to something, which is the unsubsidized loan, students usually do not take it out or do not want it because of the interest, but it incurs interest while you're in school. The preference is up to the student, not giving you any indication. It's just that's how I simplify for some students who are trying to understand the difference between a sub and an unsub. When you subscribe and when you unsubscribe. So sub and unsub. So these are usually the things that, or the key things that I tell the student to look at when they are looking at their award letter. In addition, there is another one that I will share right now that is a part of the award letter, which is your estimated cost of attendance. So as of right now, these are numbers based off the tuition and fee of fall 24, fall 25. The estimated direct cost right now is 14,460. That is on your right-hand side where it says, how much do I owe? So for the total scholarships and grants, the student was receiving 16,891. So if you look at it on the bottom, you see that the student has refundable funds or a refund eligibility of $72. So the student does not owe anything. Now, if this number is a positive on your letter, that usually means based off just crunching numbers or estimates that you will be owing or you may have a balance. This is something you can have a conversation with us at our office. You can give us a call. You can email us. Hey, I have a question. It seems like I have a positive. How can I pay my balance? What is the balance? All of these questions, we are more than glad to assist you and answer your questions for you. But this is usually how you can tell if you are going to owe or if you will have a balance based off this area right here where it says, how much do I owe? On the left-hand side, it's the estimated indirect cost and direct cost. Indirect cost is not something that you are being charged, but rather more of what we are budgeting for you based off a student's needs. An estimated direct cost is usually what you are being charged. So tuition and fees, and then on-campus housing. This is what your balance will be reflecting. Again, these are just numbers based off for fall 24, spring 25. This is going to be updated tuition and fees number rather, but this is what is being charged directly, the direct cost, not the indirect cost. But again, on the right hand side where it says how much do I owe, you can kind of see if you will be having a balance or you'll be having a refund. And then the third section that I usually refer to our students is the important dates and deadlines. This is how you keep your eligibility, keep in mind all of the things that you have to complete and everything that you have to do. So right now, we do need all of your verification documents submitted by July 21st. You may have received an award package, but you don't have your verification documents in. If you did receive and you have an award letter, things like that, you have to still submit those verification documents. I would also confirm with NJFAMS or HESA, which is the New Jersey State website, that all documentations are submitted there as well. August 1st, the bill is usually posted, and then you have until approximately August 15th for the bill payment. That is a approximate dates for that right now. September 1st, September 2nd, first day of the semester. Keep that in mind. We definitely need you in those seats and for you to be in class September 2nd if you have a class that day. October 1st, the FAFSA application opens up every year around this time. So please, you have to file your FAFSA every single year. Like Dominique's quiz in the earlier session, we do need you to file a FAFSA every single year, whether you remain registered for 1 semester or 2 semesters, we need your FAFSA for every single year. And then the October 1st deadline is for those tag recipients who are being verified or selected for verification. We need those additional documents. This is all on your award letter. So all three of these sections you'll see within the award letter. If you have any questions or you have any concerns, you can refer back to your award letter, or you can give us a call or email us, and we'll be more than glad to assist you. If you have not gotten anything in the mail or in an email, just email us, financialaid@njcu.edu. We can see where your award letter is or what is going on, and we can kind of either refer to you in the sense of giving it to you or letting you know what is wrong.
Okay.
So I just dropped financial aid at njcu.edu in the chat there, so you can copy and paste as well as a quick screenshot of some of those key dates. But as Mabel said, it's in the award letter. If you are already receiving that, you will be able to have access to all those deadlines in detail. So, what payment plan options are available if I can't pay right out the gate, that whole direct cost that you mentioned on the award letter, Mabel?
Yeah, so for payment plan options with our student accounts office, it depends on how early or how soon you apply for the payment plans. Once tuition is posted and the payment plans are open, we usually start with 4 or 5 installments, and that's a monthly payment every single month. The first payment is due that same day that you are enrolling, and a $37 payment plan fee for just that one time. So it's your first installment and a $37, and then each month after that is an installment. So we have 4 to 5, and then depending how into the semester you are enrolling, it goes down to 3 installments, 2 installments, and 1 installment. Throughout the semester, if you want to make payments to lower those installments, we welcome it as well. You can make payments outside of that payment plan just to keep lowering your balance. Let's say it's your birthday and you ask for money for your tuition, or you ask for money for yourself and you want to make that extra payment, you can surely go ahead and make that extra payment either on your GothicNet, or you can come to our window with a cash or check.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, what if I believe I received a scholarship of some sort, but I don't see it posted on that award letter? What do I do at that point?
So for that specific award letter that I was using, the student was fully covered. So they got full grants, full tag and Pell. So the scholarship is not posted. Once you're fully covered by grants, the scholarship is not posted. If, let's say, you do have a balance or a difference between the grants and the scholarship is then added to your balance or to your account. If in the case that you still have a balance, you didn't receive grants, you only received loans, and you don't see your scholarship, please reach out to us. We would 1000% review your account, and we can see where your scholarship is or what is going on. There are some requirements. You do have to file your FAFSA in order to receive your scholarship. So please keep that in mind. There's some students who don't file. There's some students who don't qualify. Please let us know. Hey, I don't qualify. Hey, I filled out the New Jersey Alternative Aid application, which is usually for students who do not qualify for the FAFSA application. Please let us know, and we would be able to review and post your scholarship. So in the case you don't see your scholarship and you have questions, reach out. We can tell you if it's because you're fully covered by grants. Is it because you qualified for the New Jersey Alternative Aid app, or because you did not file your FAFSA? All three of them can be valid reasons, but just let us know. We can definitely let you know.
Mabel, are there any particular scholarship opportunities beyond the merit-based scholarships that they were presented with upon admission that they can consider in the future?
Yeah, so I would definitely suggest for the students to try to research private scholarships that are on different websites that they are eligible for or applied, scholarships from their high school. You could definitely reach out to them. And then within the university, once you are a student, we do have foundation scholarships that are open within their second semester of their freshmen. Foundations only qualify for students who have a GPA in the system. So that's usually their second semester, either their spring semester, or their fall of next year if they only completed one semester, but they had to complete one semester, have a good GPA above a 2.0, and they'll get a notification to apply for the foundation scholarships. Now, foundation scholarships, I sometimes see as a lottery. You have to be matched with a donor or with a scholarship. Not everybody's guaranteed to be receiving a scholarship, but if you're chosen, you will be notified, hey, you received a foundation scholarship. These are the requirements you need to complete, and then we post a scholarship. Foundation scholarships are not refundable, but if you do have a balance, let's say you're in housing, let's say you weren't fully covered by grants or anything like that, foundation scholarships can come in to assist. But again, it's not a guaranteed scholarship. And it's a one-time thing. It's not every single year for the next 4 years or the next 3 years. It's a one-time award.
Understood. Is there any other opportunity for funding beyond scholarships as a
Yes.
student coming in?
Yeah, so we do have the federal work study, and then we have the SEOG that the student can also qualify for. Either of those things, you have to kind of let us know that you're interested. SEOG, you have work study, you have to email us seo@njcu.edu, letting us know. We can also we're also going to advertise this flyer with a QR code stating that you can apply, and it will be like a questionnaire. I guess you can describe it as for students who are interested in the federal work study program.
And as Mabel mentioned, if you have not yet received the package, email financialaid@njcu.edu so that they can check and see what the delay is on that and get that over to you so that you can get a chance to start reviewing it and get those details. Okay. Someone has asked for some clarity with regard to housing. Okay. I'm going to drop some information here that you would have received from Residence Life directly with regard to next steps and what your eligibility requirements are, which is inclusive of this financial aid process. So, according to our team over at Housing, the application online is indeed available, okay? You can get in with your Gothic ID number, all right, and your password, and then, of course, you fill that application out for consideration, ensure that every section is accounted for, and that you receive the complete status once you finish, right? There's a housing deposit application fee of $150 that you'll be paying online via Gothic Net. You'll be doing pretty much anything and everything via Gothic Net. Okay, so make sure that you're comfortable and confident in that arena. And then you can also request any more details from reslife@njcu.edu if there are additional questions so that you can move forward there. And you must be registered as a full-time student. And naturally, as I mentioned, already in the mix with FAFSA, already in the process of being reviewed, awarded, and situated with our team here from financial aid.
I have a question. So even if you're not like in with, if you don't want to be in, like, if you're not doing on campus, off campus, like if you're at home as well, can you go in person, like into like see where NGCU, like what other stuff do they have inside the school?
When you say come in person, you could always come in person.
Okay.
You're speaking in terms of taking a campus tour?
Yes. Would that be
Absolutely.
with the
That can,
orientation, like with, is it in,
absolutely.
but
So, go
I
ahead,
have,
Claudia.
is it in September or in August?
So there are two upcoming orientations. One is going to be July 24th. That's next week, right around the corner. The other option is going to be August 28th. You can attend either one of them and experience a campus tour and the opportunity to see different spaces, okay? If you wish to come prior to or in between, you can also set up an appointment with our team here in admissions, okay? We'd be glad to have you.
Okay.
All right. And in order to do that, that would be the admissions email directly, which is admissions with an S at njcu.edu. Okay, and just let us know, hey, I'd love to jump on board for a tour, and we've got you situated, okay?
All right. Thank you.
You got it. Okay, we've got some additional questions here.
So thank you. I went on Gothic Net and I looked at like the payment stuff and like my financial account, and the balance is negative, but I only see like spring 2026. Like I used to be able to see fall 2025 and spring 2026, but I can't see fall anymore. Like it's not like available on my end.
It's probably based off the view that you have right now. It could be you're just specifically viewing 26. But fall 25 and spring 26 are both up there. The tuition may not be reflecting what the Board of Trustees is going to confirm in about a week or two. But once it is updated, you'll see the correct amount and the correct negative amount that you'll have. But if it's a negative, then it usually means that you're getting a refund.
I think for mine's also as well is I think it's for fall 2025, but it doesn't show like the next one either. So I don't know how like that works too. Because I think they have they said they reimburse you for whatever else they didn't cover for. I don't know what be the difference because mine said it was like 14,000, not 16.
Right. So again, the tuition and fees has not been confirmed. So it's
Okay.
not going to be perfectly updated right now. Once it is, you'll see everything is there, and it's usually going to be around August where everything's confirmed. You'll get an email. This is your balance. This is what's going on. This is everything's confirmed. But as of right now, the Board of Trustees has not confirmed the tuition. So we can't really give you guys an exact amount of what it will be if you're getting a refund or what your exact balance is, but it is coming.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Right, I saw a question from Brian a few moments ago. Brian was asking about the honors program and how that impacts tuition, right? And obviously that's affiliated with the scholarship. Can you share a little bit about that, Mabel?
So, yes. So, for students who are in the honors program and receive the honor scholarship, it works the same exact way. If you're fully covered by grants first, or Pell and Tag first, then that's going to cover your tuition and fees. The scholarship is not applied. But then if you do have a balance between the Pell and the Tag, let's say you're not fully covered, then your honor scholarship does kick in. It's the same exact way as any merit-based scholarship.
So I have another question here from one of our students. How do I go about budgeting my financial aid or my scholarships and my job income, work income on campus to pay accordingly for college? And what would be recommended as a job for a first year student from your perspective, Mabel?
So from my perspective, as a student, I was working 3, 4 jobs, trying to pay my tuition. At the time, my parents did make a lot of money, so I was not receiving grants, so I had to pay out of my pocket for tuition. There's a lot of opportunities on campus that you can apply for as a student. There are a lot of student assistant jobs. Once you are a sophomore, there's student orientation leaders, tour ambassadors. These are things that I did as a student. But I always, always, always recommend for the students to put their studies first, their academics first. So kind of navigate what would be at your best interest, what you have to prioritize first. Always remember tuition is you do need to pay your tuition, not that you don't, but you also have to pass your classes. You also have to do well. You also have to keep up a certain GPA. If you have a scholarship for your financial aid, you have to keep a GPA. So just try to remember to navigate it all in a process. Part-time jobs at first. We do have the student ambassador, the federal work study opportunity that you can do as well, which is usually a part-time job on campus. So if it's a centralized place that you have to be, let's say you have class at 8:30 in the morning, you go to your federal work study job by 12, and then you are in your next class by 2 o'clock. That's a more centralized area for you, where you can navigate it all together. But please keep in mind your studies should be something that you prioritize, you are on top of. If you have to go to tutoring, then just make sure you are in tutoring, things like that. I can tell you right now from my experience, it's not an easy task. At first, your first semester for college, it is something that you'll have to kind of learn to navigate. But it's just up to you. If you want to do a full-time job, part-time job, I would recommend a part-time job personally, just so you can try to help with your financial aid. It helps and subsets the cost. And then if you have any personal things or a payment after that, you can pay with a part-time job. But again, it is up to the student.
Guys, I know those of you that might have been with me last week, we talked about you get out what you put in. And all these opportunities that Mabel mentioned, different roles on campus, in the campus community, all of it comes from, yes, she put her name in the hat, she applied, but it also came from her asking questions and then being her greatest advocate, right? Which I always ask of you. Claudia, prime example here. Or if we allow also, asking questions via chat, via out loud, showing up to folks' office, introducing yourself, saying, hey, I'm here. I'll be here for the next couple of years. I need your support. I got some questions. I need some guidance. Claudia, go for it. What do you need?
Also with that too, like if let's say for example, if you want to go, if you like how they were explaining, if you have you want to do part-time also as well, can you with your job, can you like show them your schedule with that work?
Yeah, so from my experience with on-campus jobs, they would ask me what my schedule is or when my classes were, and we would kind of navigate around my classes. Majority of the on-campus jobs do navigate around your classes. They do prioritize your courses first, your classes first, anything that your academics first, and then it would be the jobs or like schedule coming priorities next. But again, it would be up to the student.
Okay.
Most of the offices are 9 to 5, so just try to keep that in mind as well. It would be between Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, through the work hours or the workday hours.
And I'd like to add just a nuanced piece to that one. There may be some offices that are doing weekend initiatives or extended hour initiatives, and that would be explained with the role and allow you some flexibility. So it's really going to be dependent on your department, the supervisor, what you've agreed to do, not do, and again, what is best and in alignment. That's the best part of work study.
Right.
The understanding that, as Mabel said, your priority is your academics, your priority is acquiring your degree. So there will never be anything put on your plate that will deter you from going to class and doing anything that is not in alignment with your schedule and your needs.
And then also,
Okay.
well, do they have like class, like for example, if there's things that you don't understand in your classes, do they have like other places you could go to like tax for help?
Absolutely. The campus tutoring is available for you in the library. Absolutely. We've got a whole hub dedicated to helping you with your homework assignments, helping you navigate research, helping you navigate writing your papers, and so on and so forth.
All right, thank you so much.
You got it. You got it. I see a question here that was asked about textbooks being covered. Are textbooks covered? What does that look like?
Yeah, so electronic textbooks are provided to students based off what they need for their courses. That is covered in your tuition.
And where do we pick up the textbooks and stuff like that? But that's when we start classes.
Yes, your professor usually navigates how or shows you how to access them online.
Okay.
And Claudia and all, that's definitely going to be a conversation that's had when you attend orientation. They will let you know in more detail about the sponsored textbooks that will be provided for you, what that program looks like, what it entails, and essentially give you an idea of when you should be hearing from your professors as the weeks wind down towards the fall semester so you can be best prepared.
Okay.
Yeah, it's provided usually with the syllabus as well
And that's on the is that on the app?
on Blackboard.
Okay. Because when I try to look for it on the Blackboard, so for some reason on mine it doesn't pop up.
Because classes haven't started yet.
Oh,
So
so
once it gets close,
when classes start, then that's when they would pop up.
yeah, once it
Hold on.
gets closer to September 2nd.
Claudia's already in the classroom. She's in the seat. She's in the front row.
Right.
I love this.
Just
I
wanna-
love it.
Just if I could do a correction here, it is not part of your tuition. It is part of the expense that the university will pick up for you as a student here at NJCU. So it is not part of your tuition. We pay for it because we want to make sure to remove obstacles for students, and that is when they have to pay for expensive textbooks. We want to make sure that you get your textbooks for free so that you can be a success in the classroom.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I got another question here that popped up. If you're interested in having more than one major, does that affect your student aid or scholarship or grant of any sort?
No, it does not. It does not affect it at all. tuition is the same or is the same cost from 12 credits to 21 credits. So let's say you're 18 credits, let's say you're 15 credits, it's the same cost from 12 to 18, from 12 to 21 if you're a full-time student. The only thing that does affect your tuition and fees, or not your tuition, both your tuition and fees and your aid, is if you're a part-time student. So if you're less than 12 credits, for the tuition aid grant, it is removed entirely. The state of New Jersey or NJFAMS requires you to be a full-time student, whereas the Pell Grant is reduced based off the amount of credits you're taking. But a double major, the amount of credits above a full-time load, like let's say more than 12 or 15 or 16, does not affect your tuition at all. It is a flat rate for a full-time student.
Now,
come to-
Mabel,
So you could choose to do more than one course if you wanted to.
More than one major, yes.
More than one major, you could choose to do that.
Yes, as is my experience, I did a major in psychology and a co-major or a minor in philosophy.
Okay.
so additional question here. I start the semester and there's this thing called add drop, right? As in, I'm realizing I need to shift my schedule around. There's a class that's on my plate. I've attended the first session, but it's not necessarily going to work for me. How many credits do I need to stay on target with on my schedule in order for my aid not to be disrupted, right?
12 credits.
Okay. And this is why everyone here, when you sit down with your academic advisor, the recommendation is always going to be 12 to 15
Okay.
credits minimally, right? Because if you have a moment at the start of the semester and you decide, "Ooh, you know what? I want to drop one class," you want to make sure that you have at least 12 credits so that your financial aid is not disrupted.
Correct.
Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, there will be guidance, again, conversations about this in further depth during orientation. You will get a chance to meet everyone. We do have a specific conversation scheduled where you all get to sit down with your academic advisors and speak further on these particular topics beyond orientation as well, okay, in August on the 19th. So this is why we have this series. We want to make sure that we get in front of you and you have the opportunity to have these discussions with us and you can get the information in advance, get the information in repetition, because it's a lot of information. All right. Any questions right now that's popping up in the chat? Anything that as we're talking, you realize you'd like clarity on? Got Mabel right here in the building. You also have Lydia. Lydia, I don't think we got a chance to hear introduce yourself. Go ahead. Tell them who you are. You dropping numbers and facts and details. Tell them who you are.
Good morning. My name is Lydia Rodriguez Carter, and I am the VP of Student Financial Services, which is the financial aid office in the Bursa. I'm just here to see if I can offer some guidance and answer some questions while Dominique and Mabel do the heavy lifting.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Welcome Gothic Knights to NJCU.
All right. So I do have one broad question, Mabel. Now that you've literally gone through your journey as a college student, what in hindsight, because I like to say this, our hindsight is your 2020 vision, right? We like to give you the wisdom that we picked up along the way so that you can just move smoothly as best and as swiftly as possible as you navigate your own collegiate journey. What do you wish you would have known as a freshman? What do you know now as you even have moved forward and transitioned into the role that you're in financial aid to serve students, just as you used to be? What do you wish they would know right out the gate?
One of the things that I wish I knew, there's a lot actually, but one of the things that I wish I knew was the flat rate for a full-time student. I had a goal to finish in 3 years that I actually did accomplish, but that was taking extra courses and being on top of my education or my schedule. So taking 18 credits, 15 credits, 16 credits some semesters. So knowing that that was a flat rate kind of helped after a while. Asking questions is something that I feel like as a freshman I didn't do. And I know Dominique kind of touched upon that a little bit, but being in the forefront, being ahead of things, kind of helped a lot because I was able to get answers to questions that I felt like were dumb questions, but there really is no dumb question if you're
So like it would be good to like talk to your peers and if anything, right? If you
yeah.
you don't have a
I
question to ask or you feel like you don't know anything, you could also ask somebody else as well, right?
Right. I would suggest speaking to the offices themselves. So if you need something from financial aid or for admissions, speaking to your peers or your classmates makes sense. It does help, but sometimes they may have the wrong information as well, or they may have a different understanding of what you have. They are in different situations as well. So I would ask the office themselves. We all have office hours. We all have windows. You can walk into our offices at all times in the sense of when we're open, and you can ask your question. We are more than glad to assist you. Happy to help you, happy to clarify any of your needs and questions. Classmates are good resources, but again, everybody has their own specific situation. So I would just get the information myself from the office. But yeah, definitely have conversations with your classmates in the sense of, hey, like, hey, this professor is doing this, and navigating and kind of
I had one of my friends, she graduated from NJCU, I think probably years back, but she told me, she was like, it's always good to ask questions even if you don't know, or ask your peers, or go to other students, or if not to the admissions office as well, to ask questions if you feel like you don't know anything.
1000%. Networking is the key with your classmates, with your colleagues once you are working and things like that. But when you need an answer as important as financial aid or as important of I'm dropping or adding a course, things like that, go to those specific offices. We are more than glad to help you. We are more than glad to assist. But always network, always be on top of things, even with your classmate. You may never know. Once you graduate, they may be a business owner and that's the
Yeah,
person
there
you're
would be.
working with, things like that. But definitely speak to the different offices.
Okay, thank you.
I did see
you
a
got it.
question in the chat of what the
In my
difference
mind.
between federal Pell Grant, state financial aid, and school financial aid is. So just to let's bring it down to the basics. So federal Pell Grant is grants overall, grants and scholarships are free money, right? The federal Pell Grant is from the federal government. It's from your FAFSA application, just as your tuition aid grant. But the tuition aid grant is a state grant. So you have to be a state resident of New Jersey to receive that tuition aid grant. So if you're an out-of-state student, like if you're from New York or if you're from PA, you won't be eligible for the tuition aid grant. You'll still get the Pell Grant if you're eligible. But the federal Pell Grant and the state grant, that's the two differences. You have to be a resident of New Jersey to receive that tuition aid grant, and then the federal Pell Grant is from the federal government based off your eligibility. School financial aid is usually your merit-based scholarship. That is based off the school, what you're eligible for when you came in. And then if you apply for any scholarships opportunities that within the university, that is more of a university scholarship or university aid. In the sense of other aid that you can receive, that is also your loans, your federal direct loans, and then there's private loans that you can also qualify for. Both of those, if you have questions or if you really need a refresher or have questions in the sense of like, hey, I'm in housing, I need, additional aid, or I need a private loan, scholarship, whatever the case is, please have a conversation with your financial aid counselor or with our office, and we can guide you into the right direction for either of those things. But yes.
We got one more question. All right, Orfiola.
Okay. So Miss Carter answered my question in the chat with like what are like the examples of verification documents, but I looked at the link and I don't know if I should if I have to fill out every single link that she sent, or and then also like on my Gothic net it has like two to do things that I've already done, but they're still like under to do, and I've emailed yesterday. It was about like MPN direct something, and I've done it, but it still says that I have to do it. I don't know if
Verification, when you look at GothicNet to do, it should tell you along with the verification form what else you submit. So it depends on your to do what you have to submit besides the verification form. The MPN and electronic entrance interview is for the student loans. And if you are deciding to accept those loans, you have to complete those 2 documents. And then we will get an electronic file from the feds, probably a few weeks before classes begin, so we can load it onto your file so that we can create those loans for you with the federal government. So it could be that you might have completed it, we haven't received it yet, but once we get closer to the beginning of class and you look, you should be able to see those to-do lists come off. Once you're complete and we review and they're good to go, we'll remove them so that you are aware you don't need to resubmit them. Now, if you just submitted your verification documents, I would allow the staff to have at least a week to review, complete it, make sure you submitted everything. And if there's something you need to resubmit, that they can reach out to you so that you can resubmit it so you can complete the process. Now, if it's been more than a week, email the financial aid office to see if maybe they're trying to get to you to find out that you need additional documents, or maybe you submitted the incorrect documents to the incorrect year, which sometimes happens. So I will reach out to the financial aid office if it's been more than a week since you submitted your verification documents.
Okay. And also, did I still need to well, I completed them already, but for future reference, I wouldn't need to complete them if I decline the loan offer.
If you decline them and you completed the master promissory note and MPN, they become inactive.
Okay.
Let's say next year you decide I want to accept the loans. You have to remember I'm going to have to complete the master promissory note and entrance interview because I declined it last year and the federal government made it inactive. They will only send it to us when we say this student is interested in loans, and they will send that information to us. If we don't send anything, we won't get it. So you want to make sure that if this year you decide, no, I don't want the loans, but next year I do, I have to do additional paperwork to accept those loans.
Okay. And to decline it, all I had to, well, I just did it on GothicNet, but it just said to like edit and press like decline. So that's all I had to do, right? Okay, thank you so much.
Again, as you begin your semester here at NJCU, you want to pay close attention for all things to your NJCU email address. That is the predominant conversation, education, communication. I mean, that's just your source at this point for all updates and information. So pay close attention to that. I have also taken the liberty here to share a screen. We now have for you, it is unlocked, it is official, your Gothic guide for your review at your convenience. This is something that you want to save as a favorites on your main page there. You will be using it in your very first semester, your full first year, and you should really take advantage of it throughout your entire academic journey here at NJCU because it is a one-stop shop for you to jumpstart your journey, okay? As in, we've got your campus maps, we've got your ID card office access, okay? Any information and next steps regarding that, which you've also begun receiving already from admissions. You've got the tracker for the shuttle so that you're not waiting long as you transition from the parking areas. You've got safety escort information. You've got information about maintaining your academic good standing. Okay, again, the email is key. Your Blackboard, Claudia has already been logging in and checking it out. As the weeks progress, there are going to be updates, information regarding your courses and other, indicators and syllabi for you to follow as you prepare for the semester. Okay, so you want to become well-versed, you want to jump into it and really, come in from a place of knowledge and experience, you need to be navigating your Gothic guide in the weeks to follow, okay? This will also be available throughout the orientation. Feel free to click around, take some notes, learn about clubs and organizations before you even walk in the building so you can ask more informed questions, have more in-depth discussions, right? Your social services that are available throughout campus here, all right? The food pantry, the snack program, if you want to work out, where you want to eat on campus, off campus, all of that's going to be consistently updated here in your Gothic guide. Additionally, if you need information from, our self-care and support, that's our squad from the Dean of Students, okay? They are helping you out. They're available. They're going to be able to provide any other additional information and comfort and connection for you, okay? They'll be available during orientation, counseling center, wellness center, tutoring, you name it, all those components are here as well in this area for your convenience. So I'm going to show you exactly how I got here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to drop the link in. Here you go. This is a direct link. Save the page for everybody, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can also navigate there as well. So under admitted students, you'll have the option to click Got the Guide, which is the exact link that I gave you, okay? It is also visible on your checklist, okay? So that link that we sent you to make sure that you're checking off all your items as you enter campus, the Gothic Guide is right here under New Student Orientation, okay? So it's under admitted students, it's under your checklist, and it's in your current checkbox right now as a direct link. You have access to this as of immediately, okay? So you don't have to wait. You can review it in the coming weeks as you count down to orientation. So as we come to a close, my reminder, I want to thank you guys for taking the time. I know we could be outside. You could still go outside and get some fresh air now that you've gotten some key information. We'll hang tight for 1 more minute after we close out if there's additional questions that were not answered. But as of now, we will be seeing you all next week at orientation on July 24th. And if you are not able to be present at orientation on July 24th, we'll see you on August 28th. And we hope to continue seeing you throughout the rest of this series. Our next particular Ignited and Excited event is August 5th. We've got our career services team coming through to talk about personal and professional development and how that's going to help you create a pathway from your courses to your career. We've got another one coming up on August 12th, Life Beyond the Classroom. We've got Bianca coming in from fraternities, sororities, clubs, organizations. So we'll be able to have a further conversation about those opportunities. And then, of course, on August 19th, we have the advisement office talking to you about how they're your partner in your academic success and giving you all the information in further depth, as we talked about earlier, with regard to your major, shifting gears, and doing what you need to do to stay focused and on your P's and Q's for your academics. On that note, thank you all again for attending United and Excited. I hope to see you next week at orientation.